My next guest says while the methods have been disrupted, they could also potentially lead to some breakthroughs, or there might be some, shall we call it, tactic behind it. Bob Bordone is founder of the Cambridge Negotiation Institute. He's a world-renowned negotiator and taught at Harvard Law School for more than 20 years. He's co-author of the new book, Conflict Resilience, Negotiating Disagreement Without Giving Up or Giving In. It's great to have you here.
Kelly, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
And you've talked to a lot of corporate America in your career, is that right?
I have, in many, many different contexts, from healthcare to oil and gas and pretty much everything in between.
I like that you talk about conflict resilience, too, because you almost say, like, let's not assume we're going to come to a resolution here. And I think that's how a lot of the public feels or is wondering about with a lot of what we're seeing in the White House. From your expert negotiator hat, just what jumps out to you at this point in the administration?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we think about conflict resilience, one of the things we're talking about is how not to be afraid of the disagreement. And one of the things that this administration certainly has been bold about is going into these areas of great conflict and difference and not being afraid to raise it. And I think that is something that is worked well, right, is really good. Then there's, of course, this other question of the how. And if you think about President Trump as a negotiator, I think both in business and also now as the president, one of the ways that he approaches it is to use your leverage. And people often say, what's the point of having leverage if you're not going to use it? And of course, there's some wisdom there. At the same time, there's a very famous quote by Thomas Jefferson who says, I hope that over time, our wisdom will grow such that we will learn that the less we use our power, the more our power will grow.
That's quite a contradiction almost.
It is a contradiction. And, you know, I think part of this is it's good to raise some of these hard issues, whether it is Europe's share of contributions to Ukraine or issues on tariffs. At the same time, we want to have a longer view, right? We have short and long-term interests. And so one of the things we talk about in our book is you don't want to be a battering ram. And I think one of the challenges with President Trump is that he often can be a battering ram. And particularly when you have leverage, you don't necessarily need to use that leverage to get the attention of others.
It's interesting. You also mentioned the anchoring concept of, you know, what sounds, something that kind of first sounds crazy, then becomes the talking point and then kind of shifts the whole discussion. Yeah,
you know, in negotiation, we talk about first offers, right, or anchoring. And oftentimes, if you look at the research, when someone throws out an offer, all of the other guesses end up around that offer. And President Trump is spectacular at throwing out anchors that if anybody else put them out there, they would be immediately written off. At the same time, part of what's interesting about that is it's only getting traction because of his leverage. And one of the marks of a great negotiator is being able to influence people even when you are lower in power. And the other thing about being conflict resilient is the ability to sit with the disagreement and also stay in relationship. And so one of the things I wonder about, and we will see as this administration moves forward, is how can we preserve those really important relationships with our allies in Europe?